2 weeks, 2 people and a lot of bags in a tuk-tuk around Cambodia sounds like great fun. This is part 2 of our time here in Cambodia exploring the country by tuk-tuk. If you have missed the previous video, check it out above. Let me reintroduce you to Betty White, the tuk-tuk that we have rented for this adventure. After a few days getting used to the tuk-tuk around the city of Siem Reap, we left with everything literally strapped in the back to make sure it was going nowhere. The driving is quite long in the tuk-tuk, so we're taking turns swapping every hour. Driving in our first lot of rain on our first time leaving the big city. A little rain here on the seat, but nothing crazy. Darryl's handling it like a pro. I don't know if I just spoke too soon and said, oh no, we're okay with the rain coming in. I just had to whip down all of the rain covers, which actually does an okay job, but it's pretty heavy now. Look at this. And just as quickly as it came it went, then it was my turn to drive and I was stuck behind that truck for far too long. Whoa! There's a... We're on our first real off-roading road and it's bumpy as. And I think Darryl's going about half the speed he was going before and it's still bumpy as, but you having fun, Darryl?
So much fun!
After arriving in Battambang the night before, this was our first morning exploring the city. Yeah, brother-in-law was asking if Betty tuk-tuk drifts, and the answer is, dunno, but she skids in the mud. Yeah, this is after some heavy rain, and this is probably not the street, but we didn't know because we followed the Google Maps. As we've been driving around this road, I've had a few of the locals kind of go at seeing us, and Darryl's just such a freaking legend. He's just nailing the driving. I'm so proud of him. But it is pretty bumpy and pretty muddy, and all I just keep thinking is please don't have to get stuck, because we'd be up to maybe up to at least the tops of our feet in mud, I think. There's nothing better than doing a walking tour to find your feet in a new city, and that's exactly what we did here in Battambang. We started off with a guided tour of the food market, and this wet market was something else. We've been to wet markets in Asia before, but this had everything: dog, snake, eel, an assortment of things. It really was an education.
In the rice field.
Right.
This is not from the rice field, this one from the sea.
Yeah.
Look at that!
I know!
All the pigs.
What are these? Some kind of chickeny bird.
Yeah, a little bird.
Yeah.
A really old Buddhist temple in the Battambang city. Yeah, because this temple built during Thai occupied Battambang. So during Thai occupied Battambang, so this is not a university, not a school. So this is full of the elephant here.
Right.
Yeah, all the elephants same color, but except one elephant.
Yes.
It's an albino elephant. You call albino or you call albino?
Albino.
Albino.
We loved our guide. He explained the history and the symbolism of the different sculptures in this temple, and we learnt a little bit more about Rama, who's a pretty important person here in Cambodia in terms of its origin stories and founding. The temple was beautiful, just so lovely. And then this is a different kind of poignant structure, but the sculpture was constructed in the 90s to represent peace, and it's made of AK-47s that were submitted after the Civil War. Our tour wrapped up with this guy's story, and between the stick and the king, this is how the town of Battambang got its name. You'll have to come here to learn the whole story.
Good morning, we're in Battambang, and at the moment we are on a bamboo train.
This bamboo train is one of Battambang's most important tourist attractions. Originally built to solve a transport problem, it's now just focused on tourists at about $5 US each.
I wonder what happens if Another bamboo train's coming from the opposite way.
Darryl asked before, what happens if you run into another train?
That's what happens. So we're in the Battambang Bat Cave. Supposedly it takes 30 to 60 minutes for all the bats to leave, which just sounds nuts. Gotta think there'll be a few, and they don't come out at a certain time, so I guess we're just in a wait and see. So I think we're in a little town called Pursat in Cambodia. On the outskirts we've got this big massive Buddha that's pretty tall, at a rough guess, about 20 metres. Besides the roosters, it's pretty peaceful here.
And how's Betty White going?
Oh, she's got a little bit of dirt on her, as you can see. She, her drivers took her, well, one in particular, took her through a pretty muddy road yesterday. But I'm going to put the blame on Google for that one.
So with Betty White here, we have come to our destination for the next 2 days. When we were mapping out where we wanted to go in Cambodia, we didn't really actually have huge plans. Siem Reap, Angkor Wat, maybe a beach, and Phnom Penh. So anything else in between is a bonus. And we got here and we're doing research as figuring out where we wanted to go, and decided that coming down here into Kirirom National Park is something that really appealed to us. So we have booked in to stay in a little hobbit hole. It's not really a hobbit hole. It's a pipe house here at Kirirom Pine Resort. Let me show you. That's it. So we are staying in a double pipe room, and that's about it. And so the pipe house is not huge. We've got good ventilation though. We've got a fan that extracts, a fan that blows, and then up here we've got tea, coffee. Not much in terms of a walkway, but we do have room under the bed. A wee seating area with an umbrella. So that's it. That's the room tour. A double bed, but you're probably thinking, no bathrooms. Let me show you those. So we've got bathrooms down one side, being at one with nature, and then down the other side, showers. The resort complex had a lot to offer, and it was quite a substantial size. It had a climbing wall, it had various outdoor activities including hiring mountain bikes and restaurants, but because we were here in the off season, I think a lot of it wasn't on offer. After a few great days in Kirirom National Park, we decided it was time to head down to Kampot, and this is the road that Google Maps took us down. This was one of those roads that once we had committed to it, we were on it. Oh no! Just check out the dust that this passing car lifts up.
We've been on a dirt road for, I'd say, at least about an hour. It's been in my head I'm going, what has Google sent me on? It's been a challenge. Lots of potholes, lots of corrugation.
Lots of trucks?
Not really, no. The one good thing is that traffic hasn't been that bad at all, because I guess no one really wants to ride on this road. Yeah, now it's raining, so we're just pulled over for a little bit. What you probably don't see is not much, like
Oh my god.
yeah, just didn't really realise that
Put
at
your
the
hands
time.
out.
Yeah, not bad. It's just, you know, that's normal.
But it's everything. I don't know if you can see in the back seat. Everything is filth. So we have about, what, an hour and a... In theory, we've got about an hour 15 to go till we get to our resort.
Yeah,
And
take a little bit longer than that.
all I want is a shower. Thank goodness we were able to detour off the dusty road and onto a sealed road, and then the rest of the drive to Kampot was actually rather beautiful. Okay, so we've arrived in our room in Kampot. It's quite nice, hey Darryl?
Yeah.
And we're just outside from a pool. We're in about 4.5 minutes. I will be swimming. And I am so grubby. Like, look at the state of me. Joining you here from the back of the tuk-tuk, and we have just arrived at La Plantation. This is a peppercorn farm just outside of the town of Kampot where we're staying, and so Kampot pepper is one of the things that Cambodia is famous for. It's definitely one of the things it's famous for around here, obviously, so we thought it was up to our duty, I guess, to come and check it out. La Plantation is a social enterprise that was established by a French couple back in 2003 with an absolute focus on agro-tourism. They employ 150 people, making them the largest employer here in Kampot. Our guide was brilliant. He talked to us about the process of cultivating peppercorns. They also have an assortment of fruit trees here. And honestly, I love pepper, but I didn't know that much about it. And we learned so much on this very short tour. There are different options here. You can dine here, you can do cooking classes, but we opted for the tour itself. This is so interesting. I love finding out about how things work.
Thank
you. Oh, that's good. The aftertaste. The tour finished with a full tasting with tasting notes, a bit like if you've ever been to a wine tasting. It was not to be messed with. And then we chose to have our own tasting session ourselves.
That's exactly what it delivers. You haven't got that chocolate, and so it comes there first, and then at the end, the pepper.
That was actually so fun, way better than I imagined, and we did something we don't usually do, which is we bought stuff. So I don't know if I showed this before, but this is some mango with red pepper, and then thankfully, all sealed, we got some black pepper. So that might be our pepper for the next blah 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 until we get back to New Zealand, because we know we're not allowed to bring any food into New Zealand, but when we're overlanding we can do what we want. Our next step from here is we're going back into Kampot, and it is massage time, right Darryl?
Yep.
So Darryl's getting a massage, me massage and facial, and the prices of stuff here is crazy cheap. Like I think the equivalent, I think I've paid 30 or 35 USD for my treatments, and at home I would probably pay for the same maybe $250 New Zealand. We have come to Spa Street. So many spas down here. Sorry that the camera is going to change slightly here. The next day we went out to Kep Beach and then came back to Kampot to do some stand-up paddle boarding. There's this beautiful, very sedate river loop that goes around here that you can hire some stand-up paddle boards. We had a guide with us, having never done stand-up paddle boarding before, and I can't figure out why we haven't. We had such a good time. We learned how to do it on our knees and then how to do it standing up. It was beautiful. Our final few days were spent in Phnom Penh, and we had two things in particular that we wanted to do here. One of them was to go to Tuol Sleng Genocide Museum, aka S21, and the other one was to go to the Killing Fields. Having grown up in the 80s with friends from Cambodia, I knew a little bit about the Khmer regime as a child, and Darryl and I both reflected on the fact that over time we learnt more and more about it, particularly at school and then in our later lives. So coming to S21, you've got to think of it like you're coming to a place that was a prison where people were tortured, and it was really grim and heavy. However, both of us believe it's important to be a witness to the atrocities of the world in ways that hopefully means that they won't be repeated. There is a chance to speak to survivors from S21, this former school that was turned into such a horrific place of torture. The Killing Fields, a former orchard, is a place that still continues to haunt the people of Cambodia. This audio guide took us through the stories of the various forms of mass executions that happened here nightly, and how the Khmer regime covered up the sounds, kept it quiet for so long. This tree is particularly awful. This is where, in order to save bullets, they just dash children's head against the tree. And there are still mass graves here, and apparently in the rain, bones, pieces of clothing, items do get washed up. In the centre there is a monument with the various bones and skulls of people found here, and then just as the rain was starting to come in, this reminder. We did some other exploration in Phnom Penh, walking tours, etc. But it really was the time for us to get ready to return Betty White, to get her ready to go back to the tuk-tuk company. And so part of that was making sure she had a facelift, or at least a good clean, because my goodness, we had dirtied her up over the last 2 weeks. Okay, now that we're coming to an end, what are your thoughts on renting a tuk-tuk?
I'll definitely do it again. I think the choice of both Megan and I to do this was, in hindsight, great. It's been an adventure. It's also allowed us quite a lot of flexibility, even though, yes, you are going slower than a car.
Not always.
Well, yeah, the only time you're slower than a car is on the highway. The learning habits of how to change gears, just the whole familiarity of having to drive a tuk-tuk, that was an experience in itself. But as I said, I'd definitely do it again.
So if I was giving anyone any advice about hiring a tuk-tuk, first I'd say get one from these guys. They were really helpful. They gave us all the support that we thought we might need. Thankfully we haven't needed any. But tuktukrentals.com, they do Sri Lanka and Cambodia, so go with someone reputable. Do recommend them. Secondly, just take your sweet time. You just get to go with the flow, but there's no rush, and so don't get panicky about the driving. Third thing I'd say is, so we have with us a bike lock that we use to bike our bags into the back seat. All of our bags have padlocks on them, but that just gave a little bit of security of knowing that they were literally strapped to the car, just on the off chance anyone saw something they liked. But that's not been our experience in Cambodia, but that was just like an insurance policy. Don't drive fast down bumpy roads, and probably don't drive at night. It's not worth it unless you're just going to a restaurant or somewhere close by on a road you've already driven. Don't drive at night. Take the time, enjoy the scenery. So that probably brings the end of our Cambodian tour to a close. We hope you've enjoyed coming along with us. From here, we're catching a bus through to southern Laos, so we will see you then.